So now say a bank lent $100 for a house, and all of a sudden the value of that house increases to $1,000. So on the balance sheet of the bank, its asset increases from $100 to $1,000. Once that happens, then the share value of that particular bank increases. Now there was really nothing happening on the ground. It was this house for $100 or a number of houses for $100 whose price had only increased.
And remember, these are the receivables that are going to be coming in from the people who don't have any money to repay their installments, and they even haven't paid any down payment as well.
And on the basis of that, there was a number of financial players who were making a lot of money.
And the trading was going on from Singapore to Malaysia, from Malaysia to Thailand, from Thailand to South Africa, and from South Africa to the United States. Everybody was having a fun time. It was a feeling of a nirvana that was going along for the last 10 years.
What all of this meant was that a lot of money was going into making money, further more money, rather than making goods.
And who were behind that? Investor, funds, hedge funds, commercial bank, insurance company, credit rating agency, and after all, the regulators.
In the meanwhile, the Bubbloo credit scheme had everyone living in what you could call a bubble. On one side, there was my lovely Bubbloo restaurant, which had completely transformed.
I come with my family to Bubbloo Food Center every day.
The employees were also happy, as they also got good salary raise. On the other side was the bank, whose stock value kept going up as their assets were increasing. And on the third side were the investors, who were also making good profits due to the increase in prices of the bonds.
Today at the equity market, buying momentum continued on the back of renewed interest, particularly in the banking sector driven by Paisa Wasool Bank, which recently launched 2 new bonds, the Nahari bond and the Biryani bond. Ever since the launch of these bonds and the AAA rating, which was granted to these bonds, we have seen investors itching to get their hands on them, and as a result, continued appreciation has been seen in the value of Paisa Wasool Bank.
That's the way you do it. You play the guitar on the MTV. That ain't working. That's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your chicks free.
Just like the mortgage finance scenario, where there were borrowers who were actually ninjas, people with no income, no jobs, and no ability to pay. Then there were banks who were lending more and more. And there were all sorts of different financial institutions around the world who were trading in the fancy financial products created by the investment bankers. And then, just like in the movies, when everything seems to be going perfectly, there's always a villain. Enter the villain of our story.
Mogambo. Khushua.
A credit risk manager at the bank decided that the level of credit provided by the bank to yours truly had crossed a certain level. So the bank suggested that I call up my customers and ask them to pay for the food that they had. Can you imagine? So I started calling my customers. And to my surprise, I found out that 99 out of 100 customers refused to pay, saying that they had no money. I was shocked by this news. The receivables were no longer there.
Unfortunate thing was that the people who were buying the houses at that time, they knew they don't have any capacity to pay it.
We call it subprime because it was not the prime market of the customers, it was subprime. These were the people who had not even thought of getting money from any bank about 15 years back.
And the lender also knew it, their credibility, that they are not going to get it. But this entire financial derivatives were created, and these were floated into the market where investors put in their money.
People book houses based on loans they get from the banks with the intention that they will sell it after it is completed. Now this goes on a large scale when at some point there are more sellers than buyers.
No. You have to give us some money.
And when they didn't pay me, I couldn't pay anything to the bank, and this triggered a crisis. I stopped serving my credit clients who stopped coming to the restaurant, and this caused the sales to go down.
So this domino effect started in the United States too, where there was a chain of lenders who were all depending on those homeowners to pay their installments, but those poor guys could not do so. And this caused a cascading effect, and everybody down the line was hurt. I guess that is what they mean by all hell breaking loose.
Central bank in 2004 in the global world have started increasing the interest rate. And few of the houses for which the 2 years period was coming near, and from the third year, you know, the interest rate was going up. So the default started.
As the Murphy law says, if something can go wrong, it will go wrong. So everything wrong that could have had happened at that point in time, it all integrated in 2007.
And the derivatives castle that was made in the year that fall down like a ninepins.
The bankers started pushing poor little me to make payments, but I couldn't do so as I had nothing. This caused the bank's assets value to go down immediately, which in turn caused the prices of the bonds to drop. The people who were trading the bonds found out that the bond prices had dropped by 80 to 90% and their wealth had just vanished all of a sudden.
Pesa Bank, the volume leader for the past few weeks in the market today, saw a massive fall in its price on news coming in the market that the value of the Nahari and Biryani bond is decreasing. Numbers show the bank is in a severe liquidity crisis. The Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan has taken notice of the issue, but those investors who did invest in the bank are losing their money and asking for compensation.
First of all, the Bear Stearns, which was acquired by JP Morgan Chase Bank. So people felt that if there is acquisition of these weak banks by the strong banks, the system will recover. But then in 2008, Fannie Mae and the Freddie Mac also went under the waters.
The Lehman Brothers investment bank in the US, they filed for bankruptcy, and the US Treasury allowed that to happen.
And Lehman Brothers owed money to a number of institutions in the US, Europe, and Asia.
Enron failed, insurance group AIG, which has failed, Barclays, a British bank, failed.
And this is exactly what happened to the Citibank, to the Bank of America, to the Merrill Lynch.
These were mega corporations, and when mega corporations fail, they create much larger impact than a small company failing, because so many other companies doing business with these mega companies also go under.
My suppliers, having granted generous payment due dates, started facing similar problems. The meat supplier defaulted on payment to the sheep and cattle supplier and claimed bankruptcy. The atta supplier is taken over by a competitor. I laid off the cook and a few staff members.
बबलू साहब ने हमारों को नौकरी से निकाल दिया।